isn't it? All right. Good morning, ladies. I'm getting some feedback. All right.
Yeah.
The little all right. Yeah, I'm getting some feedback. Ian, what's going on, man? All right. So let's get to it, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me make my man Ian Jensen a moderator. What's happening? Let's go. We are back in the building. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. Okay. Woo, man. Let me see if these are the right buttons, man. Let me see if I got the right buttons going on. Okay, so I am super excited about having you guys today. I got all of my guys. We got the 10X Vets event countdown, and we're going to be doing rapid fire real estate Q&A today, man. Special shout out to Otis, Ashley, Alexis, Tony. Man, let's kick it like a sensei. Over to you, Ian. I want you to give a quick introduction. For those of you who are just joining, man, we are launching our first Grant Cardone sponsored partnership, 10X Vets, out here in sunny Southern California, October 14th. Okay, and I'm going to post that link at the top. But today we're going to be talking about Q&A for you guys that are looking to win in real estate. So, Ian, can you tell the people who you are and what you do? Ian? Ian. Okay, all right. So, Dr. Ashley, can you tell the people who you are and what you do, please?
Hey y'all, Dr. Ashley V. Wilkerson checking in to support the Win in Real Estate team. Happy to be here. I'm a speaker and leadership expert. And yesterday, Otis had me working on my real estate skills.
Outstanding.
Shout out to Otis.
Outstanding. I love it, man. Hey. Man, they done messed around and put a soundboard in my office, man. So I'm feeling good today, man. How's everybody doing, man? It's been a couple of days since we've been on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is getting weird, man. But I'm super excited to rock out with you guys. We are live on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. And also, we are live on Facebook. So for those of you who want to see what it is, if you guys want to see my face up here in my new studio that I'm building out in my home, okay, you can see me live and in color. All right. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Ashley. And I want to go over to my brother, Bruno. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
Let the people know who you are and what you do, my friend.
Absolutely. Hey, guys. Good morning. Bruno down here in Southern California. I am a real estate professional, an investor, an educator, and a recently retired veteran. And I'm just excited to be here, man. I didn't know we were, cracking this thing out, but I got my little notification on. So I'm like, yo, let me hop in. I'm out here walking through some properties with some contractors, and figured, hey, man, let's get it popping and see if we can add some value. And Tony, I'm gonna hit you up after this, bro.
Okay. All right. Is it about that guy from yesterday?
Yes, that one, and then I was gonna come through. All right.
Okay. All right. Magnificent, guys. And then for those of you who don't know, okay, I have an announcement to make, man. Put a fire emoji in the chat if y'all rocking out on the ones and twos with us, because I got a special announcement to make. Myself and Bruno, we are the geriatric pickleball champions of Southern California. All right. We busted up these little young guys, man. They wanted to get on. Hey, they try to come out here and beat us, but let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? You can either win with us or watch us win, man. Man, we busted up Alexis and our marketing director and our creative director. They tried to challenge us, man, and we beat them like 9 times. And then one of the guys had to get ice packs. We had to call the ambulance to get him up out of here, man. You know, he had to get an ambulance to get packed up out of here. Alexis, you on stage. All right, man. So let's get right to it, guys. We are live on Facebook. So if you guys want to go on the Facebook, I'm going to post a Facebook link at the top as we grow this space out. But I want to start with today's market. Let's talk about a few things. Brother Otis, are you here with us?
Absolutely.
Otis, can you tell the people? And I want to publicly announce that Otis, James, and I will be forming a partnership here soon. I'm excited about that. That's coming out. Otis is making male swimsuits, okay, with shoulder pads, okay, and a brooch. So those are going to be coming. Those are going to be dropping. That merch is going to be dropping out here on Clubhouse. We will open up that room here soon. Otis.
Just the shoulder pads, just nothing else. Just shoulder pads and a brooch.
Yeah, that's it.
First of all, look, with the pickleball thing, every time I look online, you guys are playing children. So I don't know where you guys are getting your stats from, but I'll be down to fix that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed. Okay, so guys, for those of you who are here, do me a favor before we get started. We want this space to grow. We currently have 25 people here right now. I want everybody in the listening lounge to do me if you support what we've been doing and you see all of the beautiful people that are on stage right now, you've learned something from myself, Otis. I want you guys to do me a favor. Take your, down at the bottom, you'll see a little plus sign. Ping some people into the space. And then also, I'd like for you guys to also do this. If you guys get the opportunity, I would love for you guys to come on stage. That way, if you have questions, we want to rock with you guys. And my sister Sierra just pulled up. What up, Sierra? Thank you for opening up the space too early. I really appreciate that.
You know what? As soon as you ended the room, it started the room again with just me. So I think it was Clubhouse. It wasn't me.
Okay. I'm playing. Sierra, can you tell the people who you are and what you do? And we're gonna get straight into the rapid fire Q&A about real estate and how to win. And then if you guys stick here long enough, we're gonna be talking about our 10X Vets event, our partnership with Grant and Elena Cardone. About realtors are invited. Okay, so if you're a realtor, loan professional, you can come to this event. We want to pack it out. And I see my sister Leah, Joseph, Stacy, Anthony Renew, Taylor, Jermaine, Said, Roderick. Thank you guys for pulling up. So Sierra, can you tell the people who you are and what you do? And then after that, I'm gonna get started.
Hi, my name is Sierra Taylor. I'm a real estate professional here in Southern California. I work alongside Anthony, Ian, Alexis, Otis, Bruno, and the rest of our very large team. I wear a lot of hats, and I look forward to talking about these questions and answers.
Indeed, outstanding. So can y'all do me a favor right now? Can y'all post our YouTube channel at the top, and then after, just remind me at the top of the hour, we will change it to the 10X Vets event that we have coming up. So let's get started. Let's talk about the first and foremost. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask before we get started? Any questions before we get started? Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. Ken, how you doing this morning? Ken's Lending Group. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm good. And you?
I'm doing outstanding, man. How can we help you win in real estate today? What question do you have?
I don't got a question right now. I'm here to support you, Anthony. This 500K.
Oh, okay, man. You got about like nine. You got like nine different aliases. I appreciate you pulling up, brother. It really means a lot. Thank you for your support, man. It really means a lot. Thank you for coming up here. Leah, are you here? Good morning, Leah. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, if I'd be doing any better, I'd be a twin.
That's awesome. I don't have a question either. I'm just here to support and learn everything I can learn about the VA stuff.
Outstanding. Okay, so all right, let's get right into it. All right. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about is negotiating contracts today. We're going to talk about how to negotiate. I think we're going to start there, and I want to share a couple of things in regard to what the market is doing. Can anybody tell me what's going on in the market right now? What are you guys seeing in your local area? I want to pass the mic around. Ken, anybody can speak. You don't have to have a mod badge to speak in here, but we want to get the conversation going. If you had a client or if you were a buyer, right, what advice would you be giving people in this market today? Let's open up the floor for people to get the conversation going, because I want to talk about negotiation styles and some of the things that you guys could do to actually leverage what's going on in the market today. Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah, I'd say don't focus on price. sellers are willing to give credits and incentives, and I would look at focusing those incentives on buying down your interest rate to make the monthly obligation a little less. And if you can afford it, don't get too preoccupied with the interest rate right now. Eventually, you can refinance into a better situation. But if you find an opportunity, appreciate it, because they're getting far and few between in some markets. So appreciate it and take advantage of it. Don't be, anyway. Yeah, now I'm talking as a real estate broker, right? Like, don't be too nitpicky about what it is that you're getting, because opportunities are going to start to diminish. But focus on buying down that rate over, reducing the purchase price.
Oh, that's a really, really good one. Okay. So the interest rate, today's interest rate is higher than in the past, I would say 15, 20 years, right? They are higher. However, they're not high. Now, I wish Ian was here. Ian, are you back?
Yeah, brother, I'm here.
Okay, so Ian, I want to park right there because, and Ian, happy birthday to your father. Tell him I appreciate him bringing you into our live. Okay, all right. So tell Pops we said happy birthday. Okay, so put happy birthday to Ian's father. What's his name?
Robert.
Robert. Why wouldn't it be Robert? Bob, Rob,
Happy
Chad.
birthday, Robert.
He goes by Bob.
I thought it was gonna be like Jerome or something, man. Happy birthday,
Bob Anisha.
Bob Anisha.
I can't do it.
So here's what we want to talk about in regard to the interest rate. Now, I want everybody to put buying interest rate down or prepaying principal payments. Okay, Ian, I want you to prepare yourself to give us an example of how prepaying an interest, how many bank years that would save you. Can you show us that scenario? Just let me know when you're ready, because
Yeah.
Just come back to me. Let me know when you guys are ready for that, because I think this is I really believe that this is a really good scenario. And then yes, on Facebook we see, can you walk us through the rate buy down process? Absolutely. We're going to talk about that scenario, and we'll give some mathematical data in order for you guys to be able to do this. And hey, thank you for pulling up. Really appreciate you. So let's go ahead and give these examples. Okay. So, can you unpack that a little bit more, Otis, please, in regard to interest rate buy down, and kind of go through that? And then what I'll do is I will tag me in. And then what I'll do is I'll put an example in the chat.
Yeah, so a buy down is money you put towards the purchase. This is on the lending side, so it'll be added to your closing costs to buy the rate down. So typically, the lender will have multiple options, and they'll give you, man, it's a long time since I looked at a rate sheet, but they'll give you a particular rate, and if you go above that rate, they will give you some money on the back end, right? So they'll give you a rebate where you can apply to some of the cost of the property. If you go below that rate, you can actually pay to go below that rate to reduce the rate. Yeah, I'm messing this up. You can pay what we call discount points for a lower rate. And that lower rate will save you on your monthly obligation. So you do have a choice. And when I was a mortgage broker, I would disclose that. If my buyer needed some more money for closing costs that they didn't have, I'd say, okay, well, your rate's 5%. Let's tell you what, you come in at 5.5%, you can get a rebate. We can put that towards your closing cost. So the opposite is, you can buy the rate down, paying discount points just to get a lower rate, and that becomes a part of your closing costs. So hopefully I didn't mess it up too bad, Ant.
No, that's good. Okay, so let's give a mathematical example. Okay, all right. So everybody I'm going to explain what this means, and then we're going to give an example for people to understand. And for those of you who just joined us, you are in the Winning Real Estate House. Thank you guys for pulling up to my crib. Please take your shoes off. Okay, sit back, relax. we're going to talk about some things on how to negotiate in today's market, and we're going to give some statistical examples of how to do these things. And I hope you guys are rocking with us. For those of you who just joined, do me a favor, hit the little recycle button and share this to your hallway to let people know that we're here. And then also ping a couple of your friends in here, get them into this space, because I promise you, people that are here are going to learn something, and then you're going to be able to ask as many questions as you possibly can. So let's rock out. I'm going to give that example right after I go over to my brother Bruno for a quick introduction. Then we're going to go to Hannah, and then we're going to give that example. Bruno, go ahead, jump in.
Hey, sure thing, man. I already introduced myself, but I'll definitely tap in again. I'm down here in Southern California like the rest of the crew, but I'm excited just to be able to add some value and tap into the conversation that we're getting to today. Over to you, Hannah.
Good morning, everyone. Hannah in sunny San Diego, part of the Win in Real Estate team, part of everything that's happening here as we're building out this event, 10X Vets. Very excited about this conversation today, Tony, that you're bringing in reference to how we calculate out some different things as it pertains to saving money and winning in real estate. Back to you, Tony.
Okay, outstanding, and thank you for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to post the example right now. Sierra is going to post the example that she's created, so you guys can understand that. Sierra, can you post that example, please, in the chat? Okay, Sierra's probably multitasking. Okay, Bruno, you got it? Okay, sweet. All right, so here's the example we're going to post here, and we're going to show you how this works. Okay. So I want everybody to put $500,000 on the $500,000 on your paper, and Ian put the example in the chat. Okay, this is why this is exactly what Otis was talking about right here. The example is right here, and then Anthony, can you make sure that my YouTube is good? Okay, because I don't see anybody on here. Okay, so the example would be $500,000 purchase price, 6.25 interest rate. Okay. So let's just say that you got pre-qualified for your interest rate at interest rate of 6.25. Now, here's what I want you guys to do. Everybody open up your calculator, and then let me know when you're ready, when you have it open, because I want you guys to walk through this so you can have this example, so you can understand what discount points are. Okay. And then we're going to talk about how concessions work. Okay. Now, the reason why we're giving you this example is because we want you to be able to, if you are a real estate professional or you are an actual investor or buyer, you'll be able to utilize this example for your essay. Okay. So right now, put a 1 in the chat if you guys got your calculator ready, because I'm going to walk you guys through this. Okay. And then, we're going to do this step by step to explain what Otis was talking about. Okay, so can I have one of the moderators open up their calculator and then walk through this? You're going to be the calculator. I'm going to be the person that's giving you the numbers, so we can talk about how these points work. Okay, can I have one of the moderators be the calculator for me?
I got you, brother. Do it.
All right, so let's rock out. Okay, so right now, put $500,000 in your calculator. Say when you got it.
Got it.
I said say when, bro. You know. When you're supposed to say when. Never mind. Just say I got it, dude. All right. So now you're going to take $500,000. You're going to multiply that times 1, and then the percent sign equals
$5,000.
$5,000. So here it is again. Okay. 500,000, multiply that times, that's your purchase price. This is an example. 500,000 times 1%. That's 1 discount point to what Otis was talking about. It's considered it's 1/100th of a point. So when you start talking like that, it gets confusing, and a lot of mortgage and real estate professionals do not understand this. So a discount point will be 1% of the loan amount. Everybody with me on that? Okay. So if I said 2 points, you would take your purchase price amount, multiply that times 2, and then the percent sign equals. What do I have, Ian?
$10,000.
10 G's. Okay. Everybody understand that math? Pretty easy. That's a discount point. Now, the rates go in 0.25 increments. So if 6.25 will be my interest rate that I got qualified for, a point will be going down to a 6%. And then the next point from 6% will be what?
5.75.
5.75. Y'all get that? Everybody understand that? So 6.25, that's 1 point. Okay. 6% is 2 points. Okay. 5.7, that's when you start, when you start going.
Is it for every 1% of the purchase price, you're able to buy your rate down 0.25
There you go.
percentages? Okay.
There you go. Okay, everybody got that? Put a 1 in the chat if you understood that. Put a 2 in the chat if you want me to further explain. Because I want to make sure that everybody gets this, because Otis brought up something fundamental to negotiating a deal. And we're going to talk to you guys about why this is so essential. Now, does anybody want to jump in and explain this math right here that Ian has up on the table?
I'll say it again in case anybody wants to just hear from sometimes you're hearing it again. All right, so he said 1%. It goes in 1%, right? So 1% of the purchase price. So 500,000, you take five. That's $5,000. If you pay 2% of the purchase price, the $10,000. All right. That's what we were referencing before. So it gets confusing because a lot of people use the word points as percentage points. So this is where it gets confusing. All right. So that's what I'm trying to clear up right now. So if you were to buy your rate down, all right, the way that they calculate it is they take 1% of the purchase price, and for every 1% of the purchase price, that will allow you to buy your rate down 0.25%. So from a 6.25 to a 6 for every $5,000 in a $500,000 purchase price. Does that make sense? Who has questions?
Clear as mud. Okay. So, and here's an example. Okay. I'm going to walk through this scenario. $500,000 purchase price, interest rate at 6.25. Okay. And then I'm going to cut and paste this in the chat, in the Facebook group too, so you guys could see this. Okay. I'm going to post it up here on the, give me a second. I'm going to post it up here in the Facebook group and YouTube so you guys can see it in the notes. Okay. So boom, there it is right there. I just posted it in there. There's an example. Okay. All right. You'll see $500,000 purchase price, 6.25, 30-year fixed interest rate. That means you went to the bank, got a loan. They qualified you for a 6.25 interest rate. Your principal and interest payments on that, P&I. Everybody put PITI in the chat, please. Principal, interest, tax, insurance. That's what that stands for. PITI. Principal, interest, tax, insurance. Okay. So when you're purchasing a property, okay, and you have this scenario, your interest rate goes down for $10,000, okay, which is 2 points. How I got there is 500,000 times 1% equals $5,000. 2 points is $500,000 times 2% equals $10,000. So if I utilize that money to negotiate me, if the seller, Ian Jensen's selling his house, he says, I'm gonna give you a credit of $10,000. You negotiated that credit. And then I said, all right, well, I'm gonna reduce my purchase price to $490,000. 500,000 minus $10,000 is $490,000. My monthly payment difference on a 6.25 interest rate is only $60 by lowering the purchase price. Now, if I take that $10,000 and I buy down my interest rate, a permanent buy down, that means that my interest rate is not 6.25, it's 5.75 for the remainder of the loan. My monthly payment difference is going to be $161 difference. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how interest rate buy down works. Okay. Now, it would take me $26,100 I would have to negotiate getting a credit of $26,100. I would have to lower my purchase price $26,100 to equate to $161 monthly payment difference. This, my friend, is why it is important to not just talk to a real estate professional that only knows about the reducing the price. Because here's a perfect example of how buying your interest rate down will save you more money over the length of the loan. Any questions about this scenario? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys understood that. Put a 2 in the chat if you need it for us to further explain this, because I don't want you guys to miss this, because what Otis brought up was a really, really, really good example.
Can I add something to that, Anthony? And you may touch on it.
Sure.
Yeah, when I was, so I don't work with buyers now, but when I did, and they wanted to buy down the rate, I always recommended them not buy down the rate with their own money. Any rate buy down should be as a result of the seller's concession. Because you have to take into consideration, the average person refinances every 5 to 7 years. So if you're spending, $15,000 of your own money to buy a rate down, and you refinance in 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever it is, then it was useless. So your loan professional should be able to walk you through the advantages and disadvantages of buying it down with your own money versus seller credits versus anything else you got to take into consideration. That's why it's important to have a good mortgage broker. Back to you, Ant.
And that's the reason why we're here, guys. We're here to teach you guys this stuff. Does anybody have any questions about this? Because as you guys are negotiating and buying property, there's strategy. There's like my good old friend George Bush said, there's strategery behind it. All right. There's a strategy behind negotiating properties, guys. And if you guys are just going out here and then you got a person that's just saying, oh, let's just get it and let's reduce the price. Well, if you're doing it, let's just, so let's just do the Burr example. You buy that property, you utilizing the Burr strategy, you're lowering the value of the property. So in order to refinance, especially if it's public, I want everybody to remember this, okay? Credits are private. Price reduction is public. I want y'all to put that in the chat right now. What do I mean by that? This is a little bit of real estate trivia. All right. What do I mean by that? Credits are private. Price reduction is public.
So you mean, go ahead, Ken. Go ahead, Ken.
A price reduction, you lower the value, you actually work against yourself because you become your own comp at that point by lowering the value versus getting the credits in private. They're just done at the table between the seller and the buyer, and you come out better that way.
Bingo. That's a perfect example. My brother Otis, you wanted to jump in and add something else to that?
No, he's right. The seller, the price is a matter of public record. The credits are not. So if you're going to implement an exit strategy that also involves refinancing, when you look at, and that appraiser comes and looks at your improvements, do you want them to start at the discounted price, or do you want them to start at the original price because they can't see the credits, and then value your improvements from the original price as opposed to starting from the reduced price and trying to justify your improvements? So there's a lot to it.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. That's it. Okay. And those are the examples. Okay. So let's walk through a scenario. Let's give another example. Okay. And we're going to utilize another purchase price. And I want to give an example real time so you guys could see this. All right. So Ian, are you with me? Bruno, are you with me?
I'm still here. I might be hitting the red bar though. Just,
okay.
Let me know if
all right. So we're going to do this. Hannah, are you with me? Want to make sure you guys are rocking out with me. Okay. So here's what
I'm here.
Here's what we're going to do. Hannah's going to put these numbers in the chat right now. Okay. So here's the purchase price. Purchase price of $200,000. Okay. Interest rate's going to be 4.5%. Okay. I'm going to negotiate a deal and I want a discount point credit from the seller of 1%. So somebody tell me how much money that I would have to ask for one discount point credit from the seller. How would I write that deal negotiating? If I'm negotiating on this deal, I want to ask the person, I need enough money to give me one discount point. What would that be? How much would that equate to? Anybody can tell me that? That's the trivia. I want to get my rate down to a 4.25 interest rate. How much money would I need from the seller?
You need a 4% deduction in the price, or credit, 4% credit from the seller.
No, one discount point.
So to go from a 6% interest rate to a 5% interest rate?
No. See, he's getting confused. There it is right there. Got him. Ian, I need one discount point from a $200,000 purchase price. How would I figure that math out? Purchase price is $200,000. My interest, I got approved for a 4.5 interest rate. I want to go from a 4.5 to a 4.25 30-year fixed interest rate. How much money will it cost?
You need a 1% credit from the seller of the purchase price.
There it is right there. Bingo. All right. So here's how he did that. Okay. All he did was the purchase price is $200,000. The interest rate's 4.5 30-year fixed interest rate. I want one discount point credit from the seller. All I would do is take 200,000, multiply that times 1, and then the percent sign that would equate to $2,000. So it would take $2,000 for me to go from a 4.5 to a 4.25 30-year fixed interest rate. You guys get that example? Put a 1 in the chat if you understood that. Put a 2 in the chat if you did not understand that. I want to make sure you grasp this because I think, and the reason, I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence, but when you guys are negotiating, I want to make sure that you guys got it. On Facebook, I see exclamation point and a question mark. Okay, so can you type out what your question is on Facebook, please? Okay, somebody said I sound like Darth Vader on Facebook. Okay, all right, we're going to keep going though. All right, I don't get it. Okay. Laura, okay, here's what I'm gonna let Laura come to the stage. I want you to come up here. I'm gonna build with you. I want to know what you don't understand because I don't want anyone to miss this. And the reason why we're doing this stuff, guys, is because as you go into negotiating and things of that nature, you have to understand this stuff because you can leave money on the table by just reducing the price. Okay. All right. So Laura, come to the stage. We'll help you out. Okay, and we want to further explain.
Yeah, hello. Mm-hmm.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing good. You sound like you ready for Thanksgiving. What you cooking for Thanksgiving?
Not a thing. I'm gonna go to somebody else's house. I don't cook. I don't like to cook. I'll make a dish, but that's it.
Oh, she said she making the dish. She putting raisins in that macaroni and cheese. Okay. Well, thank you for coming to the stage, sister. How can we help you win in real estate? Explain what you do.
I guess I was going over this here. So if you're saying that the rate is 4.5% 30-year discount, and you want to go from 4.5 to 4.25. Mm-hmm. That's 0.25. That's not even 1%. That's I guess 1/4 of 1%. So
that is correct.
Are you looking to go from 4.5 to 3.5 minus 1%? I'm not understanding the discount point.
That's a great example, Laura. And I'm so glad that because a lot of people are thinking that a point is from 5 to 4. Okay. When you talk about when you're talking about mortgage points, it's a percentage of a point.
Oh, okay.
You answered your own question. So you actually got it right. You said it you actually had the right answer. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you weren't wrong. You were absolutely right. So when you talk about discount points, in order for me to go down, now let's work through this example, Laura. Can I build with you if you don't mind?
Please.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So here's what it will take for you to get from a 4% to a 3%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, just imagine $1. How many quarters is in $1?
4.
There you go. So it would take me 4 1% of the purchase price to go down a full point. Is this making sense now?
Okay. So 1 point equals 0.25, a quarter. Got it.
There you
I
go.
see.
See?
Awesome. Thank you. I get it now.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad that you asked that, because people are buying properties that they don't understand that they don't understand this theory. And a lot of people are leaving money on the table because they're negotiating incorrectly. They're just focusing. They're just focusing on lowering the purchase price of the property. Now, imagine if you moved it. Let's just say right now that on stage, these people that are here, okay, all of you guys on stage, okay, just imagine all of y'all have, put in the chat right now where we living at. Malibu, where we living at, okay? We got my sister that's just pulling up. She's moving into our area. Laura's pulling up. She's moving in. Where we moving? We got. I ain't moving to Compton. You crazy? Otis said Compton. Heck no. I'm good on Compton, homie. Okay, New York's, Queens, Houston, Central Pennsylvania. Okay, so she's pulling up. Okay, we got a house for sale. Boogie Nights is selling her 8-bedroom estate. Okay, and Laura is coming in. All right. And Laura is coming in, and she's like, I'm about to negotiate because I know I'm going to get me a deal, right? She negotiates the property down from $1 million, okay, to $1 million. She went from $1 million, right? Everybody has the exact same home, okay? Let's just say it's 40 homes in the neighborhood that are the exact same square footage. Now, this is an unlikely scenario, but I'm going to explain to you why, when you're coming into the property, why you don't want to do this. Now, let's just say that every home in right now, let's see. Let me give you this example. Who has Hannah, can you pull your calculator out, please?
I can.
Okay. We got 10 homes at $1 million. So right now, put 1 million times 10.
$10 million.
$10 million. Now, Boogie Nights decides to sell her home for $950. So right now, I want you to put 1 million homes times 9. What is that? I mean,
10 million.
Yeah, 9 million now, right? And then I want you to add the $950 home to that 9 million.
So $9,950,000.
Okay, so now I want you to divide by 10.
Oh, now we're getting someplace.
You understand? Who knows what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, so that $1,095,000.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna break this down slowly. All right, we got 9 homes that all of the homes were sold for $1 million, right? Times 10. Okay, so that means $10 million. So that means that the every home sold in the area for $1 million. This is how appraisers work. Now, the last comp that comes into the neighborhood of all homes are the same. They're going to use that comp. So now all of the homes are worth $1 million, right? So I take $1 million times 9. That's $9 million. Now I'm going to add back that $950,000 house. Okay, that equals $9,950,000. So now I'm going to divide by 10. That one home that sold for $50,000 less just lowered the entire neighborhood down to $995,000. Do y'all understand what I just did? Who understands what I just did? Put a 1 in the chat if you understood what I just did. Who understood that?
Laura.
Okay, so when you guys are negotiating, and now when appraisers do that, they're going to pull the last comp that sold, right? And then that one property that sold in the neighborhood could change the prices. So why not buy that property for $1 million and then get that $50,000 in credits? Because if it's $1 million, right, I can take that $50,000 and buy my interest rate down and pay closing costs and keep the value of my property up. Do y'all understand now? Is this clicking with y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if you understood that. Put a 2 in the chat if you did not understand what I just explained.
So you mean buy it at 1 million, but receive $50,000 in credits and apply it against the mortgage? I'm sorry. Is
That's
that
right.
what I'm?
Yeah. See, you look, man. You need to get your real estate license, man, because that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I see.
You got it? Y'all?
Anthony,
Yes.
so you've averaged out all 10 or whatever. It wouldn't it be even worse than that because they would only use probably 3 comps, so it would even be lower than that.
That in most cases, they usually why they pick 3 comps, they want to they when appraisers, when they're doing a comparative analysis for appraisers, they usually will do 3 or to 4 comps, right? So, but they're gonna they're gonna look at the neighborhood, the overall neighborhood before doing that. But I'm not an appraiser, but I do know if that comp, if you, what beyond a reasonable doubt, if you're moving into that property and you're negotiating the price down, you need to be able to effectively understand what you're doing when you're lowering the price, especially if you're going to live in the property. So it will be much more beneficial to ask to utilize those monies for credits or paying prepaid principal down. Now here's what we're going to do now. Ian, are you here? I want to make sure that you guys are getting this, because as we're talking about this stuff and negotiating, this stuff is essential to negotiating. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay. Can you talk about, put a 1 in the chat? Listen, I'm about to give y'all another strategy right now. Let me do a quick room reset. You guys are in rapid fire real estate Q&A, and we're going to talk about 10X Vets Explain. I want to give a special shout out to everybody that's here. Above my head, you will see our SITREP YouTube channel. For those of you who have not subscribed to there, there's a lot of information like this that you can get there. So hit the link above my head, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you guys can win in real estate. I want to give a special shout out to Ian, Otis, Ashley, Bruno, Ken, Hannah, Leah, Freight, Sabrina, Sean, Laura, Dr. Clarissa, my brother Jermaine, Taylor, Stacy, everybody in the listening lounge. For those of you who are just now joining this space, do not be afraid to come on stage. We need you guys to get on stage because it helps people know that we're here. And then we're gonna I need at least 10 more people to get on stage right now by raising your hand, because we're going to give you another free strategy on negotiation, and that is prepaying principal payments. So right now, hit the clipboard, come on stage, please. You do not have to speak, but we want to engage with you guys. I would really appreciate it if you guys got on stage to help us grow and support this space. Now, any questions so far before we rock on to the prepaid principal scenario? Thank you, Jermaine, for following the assignment. Thank you, Dr. Carissa, for following the assignment. Appreciate you. Anybody else? Can y'all raise your hand? If y'all want another example of this scenario, please come up to the stage right now. We're gonna give another scenario and ping as many people into the space as possible so we can get this going. All right. Does any of the moderators have any value to add? Anybody? Otis, Ian, Ashley, Bruno, Hannah?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can this be used for is this for investors only who have properties, or can this be used for somebody like myself who wants to make it a primary residence and rent out the other unit? So I'm kind of like a part investor, part resident as well.
Okay, Bruno, you want to answer that question? Okay, Ian, Hannah?
Yeah, I got it. So yeah, you can use this. So a credit is, credit is a credit. It doesn't really matter how the deal is structured or what type of deal it is. Like kind of what they say, like the secret about real estate, right? Is as long as both parties agree, you can do almost anything you want. So what it is it's just a credit is just something that both parties agree instead of it's this or that, right? And sometimes it can be this and that, right? So instead of, like he's saying, using it, because a lot of people always go towards purchase price because they think that, because it's like they're at a flea market or something like that, but it's not. It's the money in the future that you're negotiating, because you don't get that money back until you sell it. So what happens here, what we're saying now, is that we like to leverage credits because that's the money that you get to use right now, and it's something that doesn't, like I said, doesn't affect you in the long run because you don't lower the purchase price of the area around you. and that's money that you get to spend that you didn't have to take out of your pocket. That's just all just comes from the seller's proceeds. So, but it can be done in any sort of thing. If I'm buying a piece of commercial real estate and you're the seller, and I say, hey, give me 10 grand back, and you're like, oh, you know what, that's a good enough deal for me, and then we both agree, then it can go down range.
There you go. And then this is the reason why, this is important because, and I'm glad that he said that, because when you're doing these things and you're negotiating and you get those monies, it's not your money, it's their money. You're utilizing their money to get in a more favorable scenario. Okay. So where are you looking to buy your investment property? What state? Are you there? Can y'all hear me? Or is it, y'all can hear me, right?
Loud and clear.
Okay, Lima Charlie, I love it. Okay. So Laura, did you get your question answered? All right. She probably lost the mute button. Okay. All right. So who else has a question about what we talked about so far? Because we're going to jump into the next portion of our movement. Anybody else have any other questions?
I just got a talking point for you, Tony. So can you only use these concessions for rate buy downs?
Absolutely not. You can do it for other things too. All right. Do you want to talk about prepaid principal?
I was going to go down the leveraging it for other debts rabbit hole. Do you want to do that one first before we do the rate buy down?
No, I want to stay in order. Can you talk about the prepaid principal and show how that works?
Yeah.
That's important.
Okay, guys, cool. I'm going to put this back in the chat again and refresh it, but in the meantime, if you want to follow me along here and go to calculator.net. I'm putting in this is a little tool I use all the time. It's just a tool though. Don't lean on it too much. Because obviously, you got to do your own due diligence. But stand by. Here we go. All right, so I'm putting the link in the chat right now. For some reason, it's not letting me. I think it's because I already put it in there. So here, if you scroll up a little ways, I'm trying to put it down there, see if it'll let me do it again. I'm sorry, y'all. There it goes. Okay. So putting the link in the chat right now. All right, so what I want you to do is, somebody wants to follow along with me, I can show you the example that we're talking about. Anybody there that can do that?
Hannah, can you do that example, please? Or Leah, do you want to do it?
I'm driving. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem. I just want people to get this. Anybody on stage want to just click the link that's in the chat and follow along so you guys can learn? Anybody want to volunteer for that?
I got it for you.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. Great. All right, here. Let me know when you're at that mortgage calculator screen, sir, ma'am.
Okay, let's roll.
All right, cool. All right, so purchase price we're gonna do 400,000. Okay. All right. Down payment for this example, we're gonna just put 0 down payment. The loan term, I'm gonna do it at 30 years. Let's do a 6.25 interest rate. All right, and then go all the way down and hit calculate.
Now it asks for property taxes, insurance, PMI, all those.
Yeah,
They're just already filled in.
Leave the auto pop. Yeah, there you go. Leave the ones that are already filled in.
Here we go. $2,462 and 87 cents.
All right, great. Okay, now check this out. If you look a little bit further down, it'll show you how much you pay in interest and how much you pay in total payments, right? Can you read those numbers for us? How much you pay in total interest?
Total interest over the life of the loan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, total interest over the life of the loan, $486,632.
Boom. Okay. All right. So now, what I want you to do, 400. Say that number one more time, and can somebody put that in the chat?
486,632 and 77 cents.
486 832?
632.
632. Beautiful. All right. So what that means is you're paying more money in interest than you are in the for the price of the house. But that's just the way banks work. That's how they're able to give you money because they got to make some back. All right. So this is what I'm going to show you why prepaying your principal can make a big impact on the amount of money that you spend. Okay, so Hannah, if you scroll back up a little bit, and you'll see that little button underneath the other costs bar that says more options. Tap that link and it'll expand the options a little bit. And then let me know when you're there.
Yes.
All right, scroll down a little bit further, and right above the calculate button, you'll see something that says extra one-time pay.
Got it.
Okay, put $10,000 in that bar, and then hit calculate.
New total interest 435, 963. So we saved over the life of the loan over $50,000.
Right there. Boom. Boom. Listen. I hope y'all followed that along, man, right there. Look. When you guys take the money and put it towards principal in the beginning, that's you by putting that money. And now, this is going to require for you when you have those credits, right? You can take those credits and do an interest rate buy down or prepay principal. Listen to me. If you do not understand the math, at least know this. Number one, what does 10 grand look like for prepaid principal? Number two, what does it look like for buying my interest rate down when you get credits? Because right there, do you want to save $60 a month? Or do you want to save $161 a month by buying your interest rate down? Do you want to pay $486,632 of interest over the life of the loan? Or do you want to utilize, do you want to save $50,000 of interest payments because you put 10 grand down in the beginning? Now, Ian, can you wrap that up? And Hannah, can you talk about that real quick before we go on to the next portion? Because I think this part right here is where the rubber meets the road. And I hope you guys are picking this up. You don't have to know the math. If you get the credits, just talk to the lender and say, hey, this is how much money I'm getting for the seller. Can you give me the example of prepaid principal or prepaid interest? Which one? And then it's going to tell you that amortization schedule and that mortgage calculator is going to tell you the difference. Now, go ahead, Hannah. How much money was that saved over time?
$51,000 saved over time.
51 G's, man. Now, if you don't plan on keeping that house for 30 years, then yeah, you want to do a creative way of doing these things. So it just depends. What we like to do is give you guys the information, and you'll be able to make the decision on your own to see which one is the most effective for your financial situation. Okay. Some people like the cash flow. Some people like the saving the money over time. It just depends on what strategy. But I would tell you the easiest thing to do for a real estate investor is negotiate the price. And the price ain't always the best thing to do. Any questions about what Ian just shared? Any questions? Okay, Ian, can you talk about the next thing?
All right, about how we use the credits from the seller to pay off debts that we have.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So another really, really critical play, because this thing helps out across the board too. So the banks are always interested in your debt to income ratio, right? So everyone always wants to be able to make that as optimal as possible. So what happens here, though, is that in this deal, we're able to get credits from the seller in this scenario that we're painting out here. Whatever house that we're trying to buy, piece of real estate we're trying to buy, we're using our leverage in the market, which is right now, because buyers are in demand, right? So what happens here is that we get credits from the seller because the seller's more incentivized to sell right now because there's not as much interest in their property. So what we do is we take those credits and we could utilize it in a number of ways, like we talked about already. We used it to pay your closing costs. We talked about it to buy down your interest rate. We talked about prepaying your principal. And now this is another little, pillar of the credits that we utilize in our strategies, is that we utilize the credits from the seller to pay off debts that we have that we had before we even walk into the deal, right? So myself personally, I say I got a car loan and then a little bit of credit card stuff that I keep on a regular basis that I kind of revolve around, right? Just to make sure that my credit is growing. So what I do is if I'm buying a piece of real estate and I got more credits than I can utilize, and I'm like, well, you know what? I got this. I got this car payment that's still kind of, I got 10 grand on my car. What am I going to do? So what I could do to my balance with my car loan, or if I have credit card, and this could go anywhere, of any kind of personal debt, then apply it to your personal debts. So that way you save money, obviously, because you don't have to pay that off, but you also save a lot of money because you do not have to pay the interest to whoever that creditor is that you owe the money. So it's another really great play of getting more, utilizing the money out of the deal, because you never pull cash out of a real estate deal. So you got to find a place to use that money as much as you can. Over to you, Tony.
Okay, so and guys, this is how we get down in here, man. If you guys are enjoying the conversation and you want us to continue to kick it like a sensei in here, put a 1 in the chat, because today we're talked about prepaid principal, we talked about interest rate buy down, and we also talked about the concessions rule. Okay, any questions or any value to add to the conversation? Anybody have anything that they'd like to add as we're talking about negotiating these deals? So how do you start the conversation with the seller regarding the credits? Okay, that's a good question. How do you start the question with the seller? If you're negotiating a transaction, how do you ask for those points? And the mic is open. Hannah, Leah, Bruno, anybody want to jump in and answer that question?
I can answer that question for us. What's really important is to understand why the seller is moving. So we need to know some motivation. How quickly do they need to move? Maybe that house is already vacant, because that gives us a leverage point to be able to start the conversation and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you need to get to Florida now. Instead of lowering the purchase price, would you consider a credit of $10,000? And then if you're using a licensed real estate agent, they're going to want to write that into the contract as a negotiation point, always putting in there, can be used for recurring or non-recurring closing costs. That allows the money to be used for anything that is going to suit the buyer's needs. It's so exciting to see this come together. Back to you, Tony.
And then also, when you're writing these deals, you want to add the word concessions in there too, to complement what she was saying. So when you are negotiating the contract, remember, what did I tell y'all? Let me do a little bit of real estate trivia. All right, guys, I have a question for you. I specifically told you guys about something which is public and private. Okay, Ian, can you change out the SITREP YouTube link to the 10X Vets event, please? Okay, so I specifically said something regarding negotiating with the seller. Now, what's public and what's private?
Credits are private, price is public.
There it is. Okay, so here is the deal, guys. Here's how, if I'm going to talk to a buyer and I'm negotiating a deal, I'm going to give them their purchase price, and then I'm going to talk to the agent. And here's how this conversation is going to go. All right. I'm going to call Bruno. Are you here? I want to talk to you. Bruno's the listing agent. Okay. I see you off mute, but I can't hear you, Bruno. Okay. Who wants to be the listing agent? I want you guys to hear this conversation so you understand it. Okay, Hannah. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Hannah, this is Anthony from the Win in Real Estate Realty. Okay. I see you have a house on 1234 M Street listed. I see it's been on the market for 90 days. Here's what I'd like for you to talk to the seller about. We're going to give them a full price offer. Will they accept that offer? Are you looking for a full price offer? That will be good.
They would love a full price offer.
Absolutely. But here's what we're going to do. Can you tell them that we're going to ask for some credits from them? However, y'all better listen to this. The credits that they give us are tax deductible. So we're writing it into the contract versus reducing the price. Yeah, I hope y'all heard that, because right there that is a bar. Okay. When you guys are negotiating contracts or something like that, and you're talking to the agents, if they reduce the price, that's public. So that means that they don't get any credits. They just get the credits from on the closing statement, the settlement statement, that the price was reduced. However, if they give me money, those credits go on the settlement statement for what? Expenses to sell the house. So it's better to get credits from the seller versus reducing the price on negotiating. Did y'all get that? Did y'all hear what I just said? That is a big deal. Anybody unpack that for me, for those of you who are in real estate. What does that mean?
That means that the money that they're giving out is worth more than just the raw dollars. It's more of an incentive for them.
There you go.
It makes a big difference in their tax returns, so that way they don't lose as much money in the big picture.
There it is. Anybody else?
It feels more like a win-win. It feels more like a win-win.
That is, hold on. Okay, so I'm just looking this up. I'm going to try to find it in the IRS so you could see it. I'm looking this up on my iPad right now so I could find out what it says. Okay, so when you do, so closing costs and other expenses are a part of a real estate transactions. Okay, so when you guys are negotiating the certain contributions in regard to negotiating on properties, some of those fees and stuff like that, depending on how you put them within the contract, will be considered a cost to sell your property. Therefore, you can put it on your closing statement, and you can turn it into the tax professional to see if he can maximize those deductions. So when you guys are negotiating these deals and you're talking to them, just talk to them about those scenarios. Any questions or comments in regard to that?
I have a question. So if the price stays high, then that's a capital gains tax if they do have capital gains. But the credit that you're talking about comes off their regular income tax?
Now
if they deduct it or whatever?
Now, look, I want y'all to look at me. For those of you who are here, Anthony Glenn is not a tax professional. All of this information, if you utilize it and you go to jail, Ian told you this information, okay? Okay, here's capital gains tax in regard to like married and unmarried. I think the max is $500,000 if you lived in a property 2 out of the last 5 years, and single, I think it's $250,000. I don't remember the numbers, but what I do know is that depending on how you structure your deal and they put that on your settlement statement, that credits and things of that nature are costs of selling the property, which can be a tax deductible, right? You can utilize those fees because that is the cost of selling your property, right? So if I reduce the price, I don't have those credits, but if I gave those credits and they're structured correctly in the settlement statement, and I turn that settlement statement and I itemize my taxes, that can go on your tax return. Did I answer your question? And to the
yes, got it.
To the point to where I can't without getting in trouble. Okay, so the fundamental thing is fact check this stuff. Talk to your CPA. Ask them these questions because I'm saying it the best way that I understand it. Okay. But when you talk to that person and you are giving these credits, just say, hey, when you talk to your CPA or your enrolled agent, you talk to them about, hey, which is deductible, what's not deductible, because I'd like to know for the benefit of me selling this property.
All right, let me simplify my question. Here was the question. Whenever you're talking about being able to claim it as an expense, you're talking about on your regular income tax return. You're not talking about something crazy that you have to do.
No.
Never mind. I answered my own question. I see what you mean now. Okay. I wasn't trying to make you an accountant, I promise, but thank you anyway.
Get it now, right? Did it click? I know as soon as you, and guys, this is the reason why we talk through these things. It's because look, when you start talking through it, you answer your own question, right? So yeah, you're absolutely right, Leah. I think you picked up what I'm putting down, right? Outstanding. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else have any other questions on stage right now?
I have a question, but it's deeper into the tax thing, and I think it's not. I think I should just ask a tax professional, like you said. But I just, it was based on what we had just said. But basically, isn't capital gains is the money that you get, simplifying it, the money that you get from the selling of your house, but this is an expense associated with it's an expense associated with it. It's not a gain for you, right? It's the opposite.
You're right. That's it. You're absolutely right. It goes down expense to selling your property. Okay.
So I think I answered Leah's question for you. You're welcome.
Oh my God. Any other question? Anybody have any other questions? Okay. Bruno, Ian, Sierra, Hannah, anybody want to jump in and talk about 10X Vets?
Yeah, here, guys. All right, so 10X Vets, check it out. This is our new and improved partnership with the Cardone family. If you guys are familiar with Grant and Elena Cardone, they are our new business partners in this venture that we're taking off on. So 10X Vets is going to be a ridiculously, profound nationwide platform for veteran advocacy. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're going to hit the development of veterans' lifestyles here from like 4 different angles. All right, so one, we're going to have our VA loan masterclass. That is going to be something that we are going to continue to teach without a doubt, and it's going to be the main pillar of our give to the veteran community, because everybody deserves a chance to know this information, that they can put it to work and use their VA loan to grow their wealth for their family and have a great place to live. All right, so the VA Loan Masterclass will be coming to a theater near you on a national stage, so stand by. And we also have our first event this Saturday, the 14th, in San Diego. Make sure you click that link at the top and sign up. It's going to be a really, really great time, and it's going to lead us into a lot of different situations too, because we have a couple more different things that we're going to be teaching everybody with the Cardone family as our big brother in this whole process, right? So what we're going to do is after we give everybody the VA Loan Masterclass, we also have a couple more things available to you guys. If you are interested in buying businesses, this is going to be a huge industry coming up. So there's trillions of dollars in businesses that are basically going to evaporate unless people start acting on it, because the entire baby boomer generation is starting to retire. And a lot of them have profitable, established businesses. So if you ever want to get out there and buy a business, we're going to teach you how to do that. And then once you learn how to buy a business and you want to learn how to expand that business, we're going to teach you how to scale and expand your businesses. So we're going to teach you how to buy them, then we're going to teach you how to improve them. And then finally, and most importantly, we have our what we're going to call the veteran spouse improvement and professional development arm of the organization that we're developing. All right, so a lot of times the veteran spouse gets left behind while the veteran is off either training or deployed or staying late at work, taking care of the family, and their professional development has to take a back seat. So what we want to do is give everybody the opportunity they want to develop themselves professionally as fast as possible, so that way we can make sure that the whole veteran family as a whole is growing and improving together. So we all work better together, right? So this is going to be the multifaceted avenue that we're going to be offering to the veteran community with the Cardone brand. So we want to thank everybody for listening to it and hearing it out. And make sure you sign up for that event and get on our email list, because there's a lot of information we're going to be continuing to kick here on a regular basis. But without further ado, back to you, Tony.
And guys, let me tell you something. So just to recap what Ian said, to make it a little bit shorter: personal professional development for military spouses. Okay. Build your business around veterans. Partner with a veteran by either buying or building a business. And then the VA Loan Masterclass. That's what 10X Vets is. Those 4 things, okay? If you want information about that, click the link. If you're a realtor, you want to build your business out for veterans, click the link. Come join us. If you want to partner with a veteran and buy a multi-unit without having to put the money down, click the link. If you know a veteran that you need to know that needs to be here, click the link, share the link, and do what we have to do. So you guys could win. Any questions or comments about 10X Vets? The link is above my head. Click that link above my head. And guess what? I want to say this before we go over to Jamisha and my brother Jay. This movement was created right here off Clubhouse, guys. If you're trying to grow your business, you got to be loud enough so people know who you are. We have been rocking and rolling on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, consistently for the past 3 years, and that landed us a partnership with Grant and Elena because they want to help veterans. So I'm telling you guys, if you have questions about what you want to do, we had no clue that this was going to go where it is today. So if you have questions or comments, I'm going to be doing a room every single day like this, talking about real estate and giving examples of things that you guys could do to get out here and win. But guess what? You cannot win sitting on the bench. You cannot win sitting in the audience. You cannot win not asking questions, and you cannot win not helping anyone. So if you're here and you want to win, you want to learn from us, support us. That's the quickest way to learn information from me. Support me. Come up to the stage, ask questions, share this to your hallway, let people know that we're here. Like the Facebook group, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All that stuff's free, right? And we want to be an advocate for veterans. And there's a lot of realtors that are hurting out here that don't have business, right? So, and there's a lot of veterans that are out here who want to purchase property that just don't know how. And there's a lot of people who are not veterans that are learning from this space. If you notice, we started with regular negotiation tactics. So you guys were able to learn some things today regarding how to win in real estate with the VA loan and without the VA loan. So I appreciate you guys coming to the stage. Now, I want to see if we can if you guys enjoyed this conversation, put a fire emoji in the chat, because I want to make sure I'm going to continue to rock out for a couple of more minutes. I'm going to pass the mic over to my brother, Jay. Jay, did you have a question? Did you want to propose to the stage, or how can we help you win in real estate?
No, I'm just here hanging out, just listening in, just taking it all in.
Indeed. I appreciate that, brother. Okay. When do you want to have your next investment property?
The end of this year.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So have you already started the process?
No, not yet. Yes, I have. I've already owned a few properties already. Looking to pick up, my third one in December of this year, before the end of this year.
Now let me show you the depth of information do you want me to pour in? Jay, just because you came on stage and supported, can I pour into you for free? I'm going to show you, yeah. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some game. Okay. Can I give you a diagnostic of what you have right now, if you don't mind first?
Sure.
Okay. So tell me where your properties are at.
Okay. Here in Orlando, Florida.
Okay. All of them are in Orlando?
Yes.
Okay. What part?
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. Okay. I have property in Claremont.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay. All right. So now, how long have you had those properties?
I had it's a primary and an investment property. So
okay.
I've say over 15 years.
Okay. Now, you've had your primary residence for 15 years, And then you have one investment property. Is that correct? That's your portfolio?
No, investment for 15 and primary for 8.
Okay, investment for 15 and primary for 8 years.
Yeah.
Magnificent. Yep. Okay.
Give or take, yep.
Now, all right, are you married?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how are those properties, whose name is the properties in?
I have one in my name and I have one in my wife's name.
Okay. Now.
And we're on title.
Okay. So you're driving along, you hear some game on Clubhouse. This is just a scenario. You reach down to get your phone because you hear me rocking in the winning real estate room to get your notes. All right. Because Jay look like you be multitasking when you drive. Is that true?
Yes, I do.
All right. He gets in an accident. Bam. Okay. Now, Jay, do you still have both those properties? Yes or no?
If I don't get sued.
You have the properties, right? You have both of those properties. Okay.
Yes.
You hit Bruno. Bruno looks up online. Okay. He finds out that you have a property in your name and you have a property in your wife's name. Okay. Now the wife property he can't go after, but if both of you guys are on title, he can find your assets. Now, if you became incapacitated, how can your wife get those properties? Your name's still on title, right? And it's still in your name. Mm-hmm. That means, so right now, as soon as you pass away, did you know that the bank can they can do an escalation clause and cause that note due after you pass away? So now the reason why I'm telling you guys this, I'm not trying to tell you guys this to scare you. I'm trying to tell y'all because structure is very important when you guys are. Now let's rewind. Now, who's paying? Do you have tenants in that other property?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me how the money comes into your bank account.
Well, I have the property manager direct deposit into my LLC, my company.
Okay.
And it's automatically taken out.
Okay. Now, is the property in your name, though?
That property is in my wife's name.
So the property's in your wife's name. So would it be fair to say that your wife, if something was to happen inside of that property, that tenant, even though they're paying their limited liability company, that they can look up public, everybody put public in the chat, public information and find out that that property is in your name? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it will behoove of you to do this. Number one, both of those properties, you need to get them out of your name immediately and put them in a trust. That way, if something was to happen to you or your wife, then the trust will outlive you or your wife. Number two, put that limited liability company in the trust also. Now, any litigation or anything becomes private. Now you take it one step further and you have the tenants pay the limited liability company for the rental property. Okay. Now that avoids probate. That means that you don't have to go to, if you get incapacitated or something was to happen to you, that means that if you pass away, your wife, you and your wife don't own the properties anymore. The trust owns the property. So whatever you guys put provisions within that trust is going to protect you against litigation or lawsuits. And now if it's a revocable trust, it now becomes irrevocable. Does anybody know what that means? What's the difference between an irrevocable or a revocable trust? One can be changed easily. The other one can't. Okay. So now you could say, all right, I got my life insurance policy. It's going to pay off that property. So my wife inherits both of these properties tax free. So now you have an ATM machine for the wife who is your successor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the last and final thing that I will say is now, since those properties are in the trust, you now pay estate taxes versus personal taxes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did you pick up all of that, or was that too fast?
Yeah. No. That was good, man, because this is confirmation. This is something that I've been meaning to do a few years back, and this is definitely confirmation that I need to get this done ASAP. So I really appreciate this. Is there anybody you recommend or?
No. I don't recommend nobody. Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why. You interview the trust and tell the trust people that you want to talk about do they have experience with revocable, irrevocable trust and properties, and they would structure it the correct way.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Cut out. Repeat that.
Yeah. So you just call the attorneys and tell them that you want to set up your trust, and then interview two or three of them, and you can't go wrong. Okay. Jay, hopefully you were able to get that information.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Donis, are you here? How can we help you win in real estate? Donis? All right, outstanding, guys. Well, did anybody have any other questions? Chris, did you have a question? How can we help you win in real estate? What question do you have, Chris?
Hi, Anthony. I'm driving, so I hope y'all can hear me.
We can hear you.
I just came in late, but I wanted to ask a question regarding what you were just discussing. And again, you may have already answered this, but what if the properties are they weren't bought in your name? I mean, is that you can still do it with putting them in the trust and the LLC? That won't interfere anything with the loan with the lender?
Absolutely not. Okay, that's a great question. You buy the properties in your name and you transfer them to the trust. The trust owns it, and it's for estate planning. So your lenders will allow you to transfer the assets into the trust name, and then now you don't own them. The trust owns them. Therefore, it won't trigger the due on sale clause.
Okay, so then you would establish it in an LLC?
No.
Property?
No.
Okay.
So step one, buy the property, close on the property.
I own the property, it's in my name.
Okay, boom. Now the property's in your name. You call up a trust attorney and tell them that you want to transfer you want your trust. You don't want it in your name anymore. You want the trust to own it. You pick one or the other trust, a revocable or irrevocable trust. Irrevocable trust means whenever it's put in there, you cannot change it. It will take the beneficiaries or an attorney to change that. Now, the beneficiary can be your LLC, okay? The beneficiary means that they benefit from your trust. So it could be, let's just say Bruno and Joseph and Jermaine they're in my holding company for decision makers, and they're the LLC that they are board members of, okay? Because S Corps has stakeholders, shareholders, and LLCs have members. So now, before anything gets done with that property, it would take those three people to agree in order to change whatever you put in that trust based off of your agreement that you have in there. So,
okay, I'm sorry. Let me let you finish. I'm sorry.
So the second part to that will be, now that you have your LLC in the trust also, just to operate the business. So you don't have to transfer the property into the limited liability company. You could just have the company operating the business of the trust. It's two separate things. Answer your question, Chris?
Okay. I'm not for sure if you can still hear me, or if you can. But I want to ask this is, okay, let's just say I got two properties, and I do have, and they would you do each one in a separate LLC and under the same trust?
Absolutely. You definitely 100% want, if you have a limited liability company, okay, so if I have a limited liability company, okay, I like to have each property in its own LLC, operating their own LLC.
I heard you say that.
Right, and the reason why I do that is because either I'm going to do a series LLC, or I'm going to do a single member I'm going to do one a regular LLC. Now, I want you guys to put that series LLC in the chat, please. Okay, and then let's see here. Who's still here? Let me see if Hannah's still here. Hannah, are you here still?
I'm here.
Can you look up series LLC, please, and then read the textbook definition of what it is? Okay, so I'm gonna have my property either in a series LLC or they're all gonna be in a trust. Here's the formation: trust. Okay. I have two properties. I have both properties within the one trust, and then I have two LLCs operating those two properties. right? Because think about the houses. Your houses are different. Each individual house is like a business, right? The reason why I like to do that is because if I'm getting, let's just say I have 10 properties that are all of the income from those 10 properties are coming into one limited liability company, and Jermaine sues me, then all of the income that I have coming in for those properties are going into one corporate structure, so that they can award damages from all of the money that I have within that limited liability company. You understand? So that's called a charging order. Now, if I have one property, it's not going to affect the income from the other properties. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yes, I do understand.
Okay. I'm sorry, you're in the matrix. Anybody have any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my first is set up the trust, and then each property LLC, and then you have them pay the LLC. Is how you get you should be receiving your rent payment from each property.
Yes. And then you should be you and your family members should be employees to the LLCs.
Got it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions about what we talked about today? Anybody have any questions before we close down the space? Anybody have any questions before Hannah reads the Series LLC definition? Sabrina, I see you came to the stage. What question? How can we help you win in real estate? Sabrina, are you there? Your mic is off, but we cannot hear you. Sabrina, we'll come back to you. Anybody have any questions? Hannah, can you read Series LLC, the definition, please?
A series LLC is a form of limited liability company that provides liability protection across multiple series, each of which is theoretically protected from liabilities resulting from the other series. The overall structure of the series LLC is described as a master LLC that has separate divisions. Back to you, Tony.
There you go. So imagine a waffle. Y'all know what a waffle is, right? I'm getting hungry, man. Y'all. All right. So imagine a waffle. A waffle has boxes, right? So imagine each waffle box, the waffle box has a house in each one. Okay? That's like a series LLC. You set up one entity, and then each individual entity has its own separate little boxes. Okay, so that means that there's liability protection. Like those are all individual LLCs. Now, not all states recognize them, so make sure you do your due diligence before you set up a series LLC. And they are a little bit complex to run, but it can totally be done. Okay, I do like the series LLC formation because that'll prevent me from opening up, each one. And I just got hip to this a couple of years back. This is not something I've been doing for a very long time, but now the series LLC does have a corporate veil, and they operate just like. Now, if you got like anybody can pierce your corporate veil, right? But it just makes it a lot more difficult when you have your stuff set up and then you don't own it. So that means that they gotta go through the rabbit hole of finding out who owns the company. They got like these properties that you guys own. If they're in your name, everybody on stage, if you have property in your name, they can find your assets. If you take the properties out of your name and the trust owns it, it's more difficult to get your assets. That's what a lot of people do, especially if there's multiple beneficiaries or there's a holding company or some type of corporate structure within that trust that is operating your business. So it creates like a maze for people trying to figure out what your net worth is. Okay, so let's see here. What's up, Credit Ninja? Man, it is good to see you, Credit Ninja in the building.
What's up? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We miss you, Credit Ninja.
Well, I miss you too. I've been in Europe and Asia, so just got back and see a lot of changes, but I miss you guys so much. But how are you doing? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. We got our big event in sunny Southern California, 10X Vets, the first California event that we did. Our very first launch was in Miami. We had over 300 people there, and then we got close to 500 people registered for this event. So I'm super excited about October. Grant and Elena's are endorsing it now on social. So it's just surreal to see everything unfolding. And I want to say thank you for your advice and just your support over the years, because without you, I don't think, everybody has contributed to us getting this deal. So I want to publicly say thank you, Credit Ninja, for coming out to the show. When Clubhouse was old Clubhouse, coming to the stage, bringing all of your audience. We just want to say thank you. Credit, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm feeling so happy to see and for you to grow and to impact, because that's a segment of your followers that hasn't even been tapped. Can you believe that? I mean, you just touched the surface, and the amount of knowledge and the care and concern that you have for the VAs. Now you've taken it not only statewide but globally, because a lot of VAs are traveling overseas. I helped a lot of VAs over the 31 years I've been in the credit space, and one of the things I noticed is, the wives and the girlfriends or whoever it is that's here holding down the fort, they don't have enough knowledge or resources to hold down the fort. And for you to come in, and people like you to come in and support these women that are really holding it down, while the men go out there, or the women that are serving the forces go out there and fight for our freedom, and are being able to travel the world without having to worry is such a priceless thing. So I just want to acknowledge you for that, Tony, and you constantly impacting the world. I mean, it's totally serving at that highest level. And serving people is such a selfless act. And sometimes I have to tell you, you have to take care of yourself, because there are so many situations with recent influencers that passed away because they put too much of their self out there. So there is a fine line of balance, and I'm doing that for the rest of the year from July. Yeah, for July on, I've just been traveling.
Outstanding, Credit Ninja. And guys, we got a phenomenal podcast with Credit Ninja. So if you guys want to do that, go to the SITREP podcast and then check it out, because we dropped some nuggets on the podcast. So appreciate you pulling up, sister. Really, really do. Brother William, did you have a question or a comment that you wanted to ask? How can we help you win in real estate?
I actually don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I want to thank you all for all this valuable information that you guys have been dropping. I really, really appreciate that. That's what I would like to say. And forgive the background noise. I'm having lunch, but I could not resist being on here to gather this knowledge. Thank you so very much.
Indeed. Well, thank you for pulling up. We appreciate you coming to support. It means a lot to us, William. And we'll be doing this room tomorrow, too. We're giving another thing. Let me tell you what we covered today. Sabrina, are you there? Flash your mic if you're ready to speak, Sabrina.
I'm here.
Okay. What question do you have, and how can we help you win in real estate?
I didn't have any questions. Just here to learn.
Indeed. I love it. Miss Kalila, did I pronounce that right?
You did. You did. Thank you so much for pulling me up. Yes, thank you for that, because most people do not get it right. But I want to echo what the last two people said. I'm just listening. I want to thank you, everybody on the stage that gives out such valuable information to those of us that just want to come and glean.
Indeed, man. Well, we appreciate you guys for pulling up, guys. Listen, this was Rapid Fire Real Estate Q&A 10X Vets event countdown. We have 4 more days after today, Saturday, October 14th in sunny Southern California. If you guys want to pull up to our event, okay, where we'll be teaching about how to win, okay, in real estate, you got to get to see us live and in color. It is a free event. Make sure you guys pull up October 14th. The information is in the above my head. Click that link, guys. And then tomorrow we'll be talking about something really, really cool. We'll go over some of the trust things that you guys will want to know. So you do not want to miss this. So make sure you're following my friending me and the rest of my crew, okay? Because we will be here tomorrow, same time. And then also, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to change this out can y'all change the link to the Facebook group? If you're here and you want to get notifications, just in case Clubhouse does go away, you can follow us in our Facebook group, guys. We drop information like this, and you will be able to know when I'm going live on YouTube, okay, and Facebook, because I do not know how long this event, this is going to be. So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. If you enjoyed the conversation, click the link above my head, join the Facebook group, and put a 1 in the chat if you've already done it. Now, I want everybody to do that, because if you like the concessions rule that we talked about, we will be giving more information about negotiation tactics, how to set up trust, how to hire your kids, how to hire yourself in your corp. Matter of fact, I think that's going to be a good one. So tomorrow, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about us talking about how to hire yourself off of your company structure? What that looks like. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to talk about that tomorrow. Like, why do you want to hire yourself within your limited liability company? How do you do it with real estate, right? I will talk about that tomorrow. I think that's a hot topic. How to hire yourself with your corporate structure. I'll do that tomorrow. I think that'll be a really, really good fire room. So any closing remarks before we shut down?
Great room today. Congratulations on Saturday. We are on the countdown. Looking forward to our daily kickoff pre-events right here on Clubhouse. Thank you so much for hosting it, to you and the team. Want to encourage everyone, if you haven't already, Anthony is absolutely right. We don't know the future of Clubhouse, and you don't want to miss the opportunity to connect with him and the team off of this platform. So make sure if you haven't already, click the link at the top and join us in the Facebook group. And if you click on it right now, you'll see Anthony live in his studio, where he will continue to host sessions so that you can continue to get the information that you enjoy, and that's going to allow you to win in real estate. So thanks so much, Anthony and the team.
All right. And if you guys going to see me, thank you for that. If you want to see me right now, click the link and say hello. I want all of y'all to do that. Can y'all do that for me? Can y'all get on Facebook, get in the group, and say hello to me? Because I'd like to see your faces. All right. So I want to see your chats right now bubble up. If you guys want to do that, click the link above my head and you guys get to see me live and in color. I'm on Facebook and YouTube right now, and Clubhouse and Twitter at the same time. Okay, and if you guys want to say hello to me, I would really appreciate that. Hello. Hey, I see some of y'all bubbling in. Okay, and I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I will see you guys tomorrow around the same time, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, where we'll be going live. And then also, I will be super excited to rock out with you guys on how to hire yourself in your company with real estate. I think that will be a magnificent podcast, YouTube, and Facebook Live and Clubhouse room. I will do that tomorrow, so don't miss out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.